Well, I guess this is what I want to do. I'm gonna be honest, there isn't an intro for this. Well, there is an intro, but there's not a script for this, because this is mainly just a split-second video idea. Because, oddly enough, I never saw anyone else cover this project or do an in-depth video on it, so I decided this is an open market for me. I could probably make a video like this. It probably won't be too hard, I hope. I promise the rest of the video is scripted. You'll be able to tell really quickly when it's scripted. So, what is this? This is a video about me analyzing the lyrics of this project by WeevilDoing called The Post-Traumatic Manifesto, which from the Carrd site is described as an album that explores trauma and femininity with 10 different characters and is a way for the artist to loosely compartmentalize their own experiences. I'm mainly doing this for myself. Someone mentioned this project, and I decided to check it out, and it all just snowballed into me making this video. And I hope you enjoy it. The first song in this album is titled Disposable Girl and introduces us to our first character. To make it easier for me to analyze it in bigger parts, I'm going to be interspersing clips of the song in between me analyzing the lyrics. I will not alter the song in order to preserve the sound quality and energy of each track. At the end of each song, I'll also list 3 comments that go over points that I missed. Now onto the song. This is how the song starts.
Messages never read by you, never being acknowledged, that is not for you. I'm not satisfactory, changing in the background. It was nice with you walking by with my head down. Steady head, cause I didn't get a sleep. I just wanna be alive, but I feel like such a creep. Wanna be such a pretty girl that everybody loves me, but I can shake the feeling that everyone's above me.
Here, she makes her inner feelings obvious. She feels like she's being ignored, either by her friends or another person close to her. Her messages aren't being read, and she feels like she isn't being acknowledged. She describes herself as the saddest actor standing in the background, which implies that she's putting on a front of not feeling insecure and in the background of everyone's life, or just in her own life in general. She dresses to look unassuming and blend into the crowd, a way of dressing sometimes referred to as the gray man theory of dressing, which means to dress and behave in a way that doesn't draw attention to you, or to make you look like just any other person in a crowd. In the second verse, she states how she doesn't take care of herself despite wanting to be seen as something more than just another stranger to ignore, but her feelings of inadequacy made it hard for her to put effort into doing so if she keeps getting ignored, as shown by the lines, "Wanna be such a pretty girl that everybody loves me, but I can't shake the feeling that everyone's above me." On to the chorus.
Mistreated would at least mean I'm real when they look happy, but when they look you up and down, that at least means you're someone that they wanna be around.
This really shows how harmful her current views of herself are. She says that at this point she doesn't even care if the attention she gets is abusive or sexual harassment. At least that gives her proof that they still see her as something tangible. She even admits that this isn't healthy, but she can't help it. This also plays into the theme of disposability, as if the harassment gets bad enough, this might lead to people seeing her as such even more, which in turn will feed into her feelings of insecurity. After that, it goes into the chorus again, changing the last 4 lines to, "They don't look up my skirt, they just laugh at what I do. You complain about the stairs, but I'd kill to be you." I'm not going to play the whole song for a couple of the songs, since I really feel like a lot of these songs would be enhanced by listening to them yourself first before watching this video. I guess I should have said that in the beginning, but whatever. Overall, the song is about this girl's struggle with feeling left out, ignored, unappreciated, and it's gotten to the point where she'll take any sort of attention, even if it's negative and actively harmful to herself, which goes into the song's name, Disposable Girl. Next song. The second song and the second girl we meet are both called Irreverent Girl. Right off the bat, the song is said to be about religious trauma, so if you're sensitive to that, then proceed with caution. On to the lyrics.
A sleepless Sunday morning is nothing new to me. There's something about that day that makes my body weak. The itchy tights and dresses, the walls that make you burn. The pain is necessary for a godless child to learn. When I was 8, they bathed me, their water made me pure. What did an 8-year-old have to ask for forgiveness for? That painting made by man, the depicted divine. If my life is spent in worship, then is it really mine?
She quickly starts listing off the reasons why Sunday, a common day for church worship, makes her uncomfortable. Everything about church service seems to make her skin crawl and dread going, what with the itchy stockings and that the walls of the church make her feel like she's burning. She then undercuts all of these factors with the claim that it is something a quote-unquote godless child has to learn in order to feel closer to God. She then says how she was baptized when 8 years old. She questions why someone as young as an 8-year-old would have to be baptized, as baptizing is usually done as purification. She wonders what an 8-year-old would have done to be considered sinful before the baptizing. She asks herself if all she's done in her whole life is worship, has she really been living her own life the way she wants, or was she just living a life of servitude to a higher being? Let's continue.
Heavenly Father, please alter this body. It's impure and sinful. I don't want it on me. My skin is burning up. Temptation is too much. Can't seem to keep my lips together. Make me blessed, make me better.
The chorus implies that she doesn't feel attached to her body because of how sinful it is, begging to be delivered from this body instead of my body. She feels like she's betraying her Lord by being sinful, and she wants her Lord to make her better and worthy of being a follower.
A sleepless Saturday night is nothing new to me, because somewhere in my brain I know the next day's coming. A Pavlovian response to men carrying trays, the deafening silence as all the kids pretend to pray. They said the man in the sky who's always watching me, with whiter clothes and fairer skin than you have ever seen. A man that I have never met and maybe never will. They said that I must beg and wait for his forgiveness still. They put me in their tank of water, it was wonderful. One of the fish that Jesus fed them still inside the bowl. I cried inside the bathroom, my white dress got so wet. If Jesus loves me now, then why do I feel so upset? Heavenly Father, please alter this body. It's impure and sinful, I don't want it on me. My skin is burning up, temptation is too much. Can't seem to keep my story straight. The God I love, some man I hate.
she starts to go into why she doesn't like Saturday night, as it fills her with anxiety of the upcoming Sunday morning. The lyrics go into the fear of having to beg a God for forgiveness because of something you're not sure you know about. Begging an ascended spiritual being that you'll quote-unquote possibly never meet and is always watching you for forgiveness for an action you don't know about. The verse calls to baptism imagery again, saying that she was put in a tank of water and that, quote, one of the fish Jesus fed them was still in their bowl. She compares herself to a fish trapped in a bowl, both as a reference to the Bible story of fish and loaves, and because she feels like she's trapped and feels like she's eternally tied to her religion, as she not only refers to herself as a fish, but a fish Jesus fed to people. She questions why she's crying if people are saying that Jesus loves her. Going back to the title of the song, there are two different meanings of the word irreverent. The first one is a synonym for satire, meaning maybe she feels like she isn't taking her religion seriously because of how adversely it affects her. The second meaning is a synonym for blasphemous, which ties into her feelings of sinfulness and not feeling like her body is meant for her if it's this unholy, and a place of worship makes her feel like she's dying. Next song. This is already a very good sign. It's time for the third song, Splitter Girl. This next girl immediately makes herself known. She obviously has intrusive thoughts and at first felt guilt about having them, but is now getting feelings that tell her to act on them, that being hurting other people. She pushes away anyone who worries about her because she says she's born to bring the end of the world and thinks that people who care about her are unassuming and naive. She says she has no future and that a computer claims her soul, saying that she spends most of her time during the day on her computer. This verse implies that she tried to, quote-unquote, take her thoughts out on herself, or SH herself, but it didn't have the same effect as taking it out on someone else. The latter half of the verse likely states that at night, her phone light reflects the injuries she's made on herself. She gets more guilty that she has these thoughts still and resorts to coping by taking it out on herself again. The title of Splitter Girl obviously refers to her intrusive thoughts of wanting to harm others, as well as her habits of coping by harming herself. Next song. The fourth title in this album is called Feignant Girl, or Lazy Girl.
I got sick, and I won't be getting well. They told me there was nothing wrong as far as they could tell. Oh well, guess they can tell very far. I had to be my own clinician and my own memoir. With the body and the brain so sick for me, practitioners find it not worth fixing. I'm scared I'm gonna lie down one day and never get back up again.
The girl this song is about has a chronic illness, or an invisible disability, meaning that she doesn't quote-unquote look disabled to people, but still has a disability. Her doctors dismiss her, saying that there isn't anything outwardly wrong, so it's implied that she wrote this song to detail her experience instead. They're scared that the lack of help they get will one day lead to them dying in their sleep. She describes living in her body as similar to being in hell because of how much pain she's in, but most people don't believe she needs help.
How much time I had left, it would have been spent a bit wise. And I know it's not like I died, but it's hard to call what's left of me alive. I forget I'm an adult all the time, 'cause my body gave up when I was so young. And now I go through all life puppeting my own thoughts, my own memory, a lesser life kind of me. 'Cause the cells in my organ systems organize who my silent terror, suicide, and I swallow my pride, live my old life behind. But they say I survived, it just feels like a lie. I'm tired when I wake up, when I'm opening my eyes. When I'm not feeling low, I get tired out by the hive. I'm tired when I go out, when I'm trying to exist, but if I don't, I get tired thinking about the things I miss. I'm tired, just tired, that's all I ever say, because I'm tired of my illnesses making me act this way. Tired of being jealous of everybody that's close to me. No, they can't help their not disease, that's not the way they chose to be. I miss a life I never had, be everything I could have been. I hope they never had to understand the kind of pain I'm in. The people I thought I could just be rated me like that. It had you need to pull your weight when I was trying not to kill myself. You tried to give me tough love and then wondered why I got so cold. The shit I hate to keep you happy, you don't even wanna know.
This entire part reveals so much. The singer feels like she's not even alive anymore, comparing herself to puppeting around her own corpse with the memories of who she was before her body began to stop working. She details how she feels in her day-to-day life, feeling like she's eternally tired and not being able to enjoy her life. Even when she goes to sleep, she tires herself out thinking about a body she could have had. She is tired because of her illness, both physically and mentally. People around them don't pay attention to the fact that they are in need of help and say that she's just being lazy, even when they were close to offing themselves. They also felt the need to keep their pain to themselves out of not wanting to make their friends feel sorry for them. The title of, in English, Lazy Girl, refers to how she always feels tired because of her illness, and it refers to what the people around her view her as, not seeing that she isn't choosing to be tired all the time. Next song. The fifth song in this album is called Caliber Girl.
The city noise at night, traffic at 8 a.m. Got enough on my plate, I burned the candle at both ends. A former gifted kid, a good associate. That's what they see me as, and if you don't, that's not my business. Maintain a steady hand, never do acquiesce. Call me a control freak, well I call it doing my best. Not unprofessional, never too indiscreet. I was molded this way, I guess it's how I'll always be. Couldn't rest if I tried, guess I just got a high caliber. Never gonna waste my time, no that ain't up to my caliber. Late nights and heavy as covered with foundation. The image of a modern woman's determination. My future is up to me, sacrificing anything. I do what it takes until I get what I want. So what else could be wrong? I'm smart because I had to be. Don't look back and the errors won't be seen. Worked hard and I got everything that I could want. So why is something off?
Here we are introduced to Caliber Girl. She's a workaholic, working herself to exhaustion, and is a self-identified former gifted kid. She was raised to always take what's hers and work towards it until she gets it. She says she's got a high caliber, saying that she simply can't rest because it's not something people at her rank can do, since caliber can also mean someone's quality or rank. I mainly don't have a lot to say on this one, since I think listening to these on your own, especially this one, will enhance the experience, and coming to your own conclusions about it will be just as fun. But I will go over 2 comments that go over extra details that I didn't pick up, so yeah. I'm interested in Caliber Girl's design, specifically the bullets. Bullets are pretty precise and have exactly one purpose, which is to kill. So I would like to believe the bullets represent Caliber Girl's accuracy when it comes to performing most tasks, but also her being raised to serve one purpose, which is to succeed. It's also a nice double entendre with Caliber also pertaining to guns and bullets. I like how the music video is about driving. They have a lot of thoughts about it. Driving's a lot of work until it becomes second nature. Still a lot of work, but more automatic. Perhaps Caliber Girl's work has become second nature to her, making it seem less valuable in her eyes, leading to her doing more work as a challenge, / trying to prove herself to her employers, / whatever it is. Also, driving can kill people, but it is treated very casually, also like working. Oh my god, we are finally on the we are finally on the Chocolate Box Girl. We are on to Chocolate Box Girl. I'll be honest, this is one of two songs I was the most excited to cover because I have so much to say about it. There's so much about it that I love. It's one of my favorite songs in this album, and it gets its message across, like, perfectly. Like, it gave me goosebumps because of how good it was. I'm really excited. I have so much to say about this one. I might actually go through the entire song. I'm sorry. I'm just too excited. You know what? I'm blurring the hell out of this background footage because I want to explain everything. But, like, please heed the warning that showed at the beginning because this touches on some very uncomfortable subjects. Okay, so I had to admit, I went to Genius for this one for a couple lines. So, when she says, to call your desires childish is an understatement, this might be a jab at the fact her groomer desired a child, which is indeed childish, but also means that calling it that would be an understatement since the suffix ish implies that it was metaphorical. I think that's a good way of explaining it. The 1 in a million to 1 in 4 line is about both the statistics of domestic abuse for women and the statistics for girls who are victims of CSA, which is both 1 in 4. The singer asks its abuser scornfully how it felt to abuse a child, and asks if it did anything wrong to deserve it, or if their abuser always planned on doing this to it. The pre-chorus goes heavily into the themes of lollies, a form of anime archetype that focuses on aspects of younger-looking girls, who are often in a genre of anime called lolicon. The singer asks rhetorically if it's a warning sign for anything more serious if it's not real children. Considering the theme of the song, we should be able to answer that question. The video around this part is interspersed with clips of different lollies from anime. The other two I don't recognize, but one of them is that dragon chick from... Hold on. Okay, her name is Kana Kamui. Yeah, that's the one. The line, "You picked me out and ate me up," plays into the Chocolate Box Girl title, which the next few verses will build upon. I'll explain it then. She realizes that what her abuser did to her was deplorable, and that her, being too young, just thought it was just a form of love. The line, "too soon to grow up," is a reference to when children are CSA victims, they are forced to grow up too soon. a heart-shaped box covered with a lid with people like me, that really pulls together why the song is called this. He feels like one person in a collection of other people who share the same abuse, and compared being abused to being eaten, like he was nothing but a dessert to have for enjoyment. It couldn't have been love, but if it wasn't, then what was it? Might have been his thoughts after coming to terms with the fact that he was abused. He sounds like he's trying to figure out what actually happened to him if what he was subjected to wasn't love. The way you savored me got you off in the moment also ties into the chocolate box theme. Chocolate boxes contain small chocolates that take little to no time to eat, and we went over what eating was a metaphor for earlier. The trauma of what happened still haunts her today. The lines, "an innocence so valuable you bared your teeth and ate it," also make the eating metaphor much stronger. The singer goes over the situation over and over again in her mind, thinking about the times she could have said no, and if she said no, would it have even worked, or just made her abuser try harder? For you, it's just the final course, a brief moment in time, ties into the fleeting nature of boxed chocolates again, and the singer juxtaposes that with the event being something it'll have to live with forever. I'm all you fantasized desires come to life, combined with more lolly images, puts together the very sudden image that the singer is now positing its child self as a living fantasy for its abuser, since it was an innocent child that wouldn't fight back simply because she wasn't taught to. Around this part, she starts to get rightfully angry at her abuser. She realizes how much she'd been tricked and blames herself at first, recounting how she has nightmares about the time she was abused. She then turns to yell at her abuser, recounting the "it's not real" line, and that saying such is like saying the role of a plaything that was forced onto her was as fake as her abuse. The canary and dove part is very smart. Canaries used to be used in coal mines to detect levels of toxins in mines, and that if they died, it was time to get out. Canaries were basically used as warnings for bigger issues. Doves also represent innocence. WeevilDoing on Tumblr confirms that this line means that the loss/death of innocence should have been a warning sign in Chocolate Box Girl's relationship with this person. The dove being a worthy sacrifice, meaning that it was a price she had to pay to realize how terrible her abuser really was. She gets more angry at her abuser, asking why she was picked out of everyone, which also goes into the chocolate box allegory, and asking who else they hurt if she was just one victim of this person. She tells them that they ruin everything they touch and betray everyone, and that she hates their guts. This is pretty much the end of the song at this point, and I've already analyzed how the title makes sense, but I'll also go over some more comments. Something I love about the character design is that, despite her being an adult, her outfit very much resembles a child's outfit, just with aspects of maturity. The boxy look with the poofy dress 100% reminds me of stuff like those unicorn dresses some little kids have sometimes. Yet she has boots that I don't think I'd see a kid wear. The bow-looking part of the bodice feels more like something I see on an adult dress, etc., etc. I think it's pretty good symbolism, honestly. They don't care how you look. They don't care if you dress your age, a literal child. They will hurt you. Also, experiences like these tend to force you to grow up quicker, so you may be constantly trying to go back to your inner child, which I definitely see in her, just based on her outfit. I also noticed that the way she dressed looks like a cupcake wrapper, which, also ties into how she feels she was treated. So this one is really interesting. Something I realized is that at the start of the song, while she's blaming herself, the anime clips in the background are from media that romanticizes this sort of trauma, as well as lolly-type characters. Once it starts blaming his abusers, as she should, the clips come from media that actually portray it as abuse, such as Wonder Egg Priority. This one is, I wouldn't have got this on my own. Next song. Also, I just wanted to add, at the end of the song, the cake that the person in the background has finished cooking has the icing on it that says girl. You can tell what they're going for. Next up is Taxidermy Girl. Sorry to say, this is probably going to be another long one.
Since I was a girl, I never learned I just like to play, they will never know there's an aversion. It's not the movie, also I even go. This is our nature of the female skin. We have been one day soon. Since I get in there, what is over wasted. Hello, morning, which let gosh, come me on the knees, don't let there, and then having on to show, and then you and coming with my sense, we feel the case outside, calling, wash away, no, my legend, my God, we pay, and we see.
This girl seems to have been taught very outdated ideals of women and how they should act from a very young age. She compares herself to a helpless fawn and that she hasn't felt like a person since she was female, which could either mean she hasn't felt like a person because of her being female or that she hasn't felt like a person since she was born. She's been taught that the only thing a woman can do is provide for a man and that men will want to have her because of this, which gives her a fear of them.
In love with the idea of me, not my head on a wall. Lifeless for everyone guilty, graceful needs ignored. No crashing like the whining, never fighting back again. Look at my virgin eyes, nucleus. And all consuming it, that you can never comprehend. The real God is the only share. In yourself for consumption, not only for that you're the consumed. But for the production, more than that must remain unused. Like breath or jet is so wealthy, though I myself will still ignore it. Get my dog in there, you stay key. That way too, I feel like I'm asking for it. Heaven will never lose my unspoken fantasies. My soul, my autonomy, get that deep up feeling me. It's something I know more than it convince me. My fuck, we're standing in forever, making you do it.
Here she says the conflicting ideals that were fed to her, how women should be pure but also are made to birth children, how women should look for a man but also retain their purity. She also reveals that she has kinks and fantasies that she feels ashamed of having, since women must be pure, and that she often represses these thoughts. In the chorus, she feels like she is merely just for men to hunt and trap and display, not being liked for her, but the idea of her merely taught to just be an ornament for men, which explains why the song is called Taxidermy Girl. Next song. This next song is called Chemical Girl. The singer alludes to having anger issues or a personality disorder that causes them, and being prone to blowing up at other people. She assures that the reason she does it is because of how she views herself instead of what other people are doing. It's gotten to the point where her friends think she isn't capable of being more than just angry, since it's been so long with her sudden outbursts.
This is no place of honor. The danger through the storm. My goal is melting away. Offline all I control. I know my place in the world. I will accept the role. This is no place of honor. I just want you to know. Static, semi-automatic, pressure problematic, syndrome post-traumatic, listen to the drum of beating suicidal. My arrow is vital, sorrow in the sidle, in the road is puzzle, the blade is my Bible, cybernetic vision, magnetic vision, my new transition, fiber of division, sign of my condition, resort to decision. Although we came up all the plutonium, more of basic traces of radiation, and reason that we were again by me, and my forever lacking of discussion. Although radium content is over, mama was up and so then we go me now. My father is radioactivity, equals the emptiest concentration.
These verses tell me that this girl either suffers from bipolar disorder, is borderline, or has another mood disorder. She switches from cheerful to depressive and hurts herself to cope, since to me, a blade is my Bible tells me that she knows and uses it often. Her words being laced with traces of radiation means that she often speaks with traces of anger without realizing, and when the person is, in her opinion, rightfully upset at her lack of awareness, she yells at them, and then it's presumably the end of their relationship/friendship. This is what she means when her jaw of radium drops, and that her saliva's radioactivity pulls the ugliest words from her. The song is about this girl's issues with anger and feeling like she's volatile and unpredictable, like a chemical reaction, hence why the song is called Chemical Girl. Also, I'm not sure if it was intentional or not, but what she's wearing in the music video looks similar to something like a Bunsen burner or a blowtorch, which are both often used in chemistry, but when I looked up images of both, I couldn't see any similarities. But it's too close to not be a coincidence. Next song.
This is all there is for the rest of your life. This is it. Thank you. Good night.
The second to last song is called Refraction Girl. The song title is Refraction Girl because the singer feels like her feelings aren't there, like they pass through her like she's made of light. She's feeling apathy or emotional numbness due to her depression, and she doesn't feel like there isn't anything left in this life for her. She says that she's going home and that she is going under soil and stone, which allude to her being buried. The song appears to be her thoughts before she ends her own life. She's tired of looking for treatment and tired of waiting for things to get better, and even though she doesn't know what'll happen after, she still wants to go along with it. The phrase, "my metamorphosis will be," is repeated till the end of the song, and it's likely that her metamorphosis alludes to her attempt on her own life, since she metaphorically wants to spread her wings and be free from herself. The lines are incomplete, either because she doesn't know what'll happen after she does this, and she's terrified of what'll happen, or it might also mean that she feels like she'll be incomplete and doesn't know what's next for her. Next song. The last song's full title is Nurse Parallel, PMHNP, or Psychiatric Mental Health Nurse Practitioner. I am extremely excited for this one.
Drowning was the only way out of the water. I thought I was another landmine up for the slaughter. I was too, just like you, no way out, no way through. My suffering defined me, no past to put behind me. Thought I was cursed, I was the sun and moon's beloved daughter. I won't say that it's easy, you don't have to believe me, but I'll find yourself, the intravenous blue at the count of your blood. So within each and every one of your organelles, you are the universe looking back at itself. The future's never what you planned. It's not for us to know, not for us to understand. But you don't have to face it alone. Take my hand, I'm a parallel of you. I am, I am, I am.
This song is the final episode of the post-traumatic manifesto, and has a different emotion compared to the rest of them. Nurse Parallel says that she thought the only way to escape pain was to give into it, and that she tells seemingly the other girls in the album and the audience that she was the same way as them when she first started out. She says that the journey isn't easy, but it's also very possible and very much worth it, and that even though you don't believe her, she'll still believe in you. Look inside me and find yourself is almost like her asking you to find common ground with her and understand that she's also been at a low point in her life before. She asks to see her as a living proof that you can heal from your trauma and turn out better than you were before. She asks you to see her as your parallel. This is my favorite part of the video. It's overlaid with images of all the previous girls seemingly at a meeting organized by Nurse Parallel, as well as hanging out with each other. One thing I've noticed is that they don't have their elaborate outfits on and appear more realistically dressed, as we are now seeing their real-world counterparts rather than their more extravagant personas. One thing I haven't mentioned yet is the naming scheme of the songs. One commenter pointed out that while the other songs have the title of an adjective that describes the singer along with the word girl, the final song is just Nurse Parallel's name. She learned not to define herself by her trauma, and in turn teaches the girls that they shouldn't either. During the early stages of the project, the album's Carrd site had fake accounts with 2 posts, one about their feelings before they went to Nurse Parallel and one after they did. I'll put the link in the description, but one thing to notice is that according to the comments, their accounts didn't have their real names. They were only defined by their trauma, and now, after meeting with Nurse Parallel, we now and only now know about their real names.
You understand, but you don't have to face it alone. Take my hand, I'm a parallel of you. I am. Look inside me and find yourself. The intravenous blue at the count of your blood. Since within each and every one of your organelles, you are the universe looking back at itself. The future's never what you planned. It's not for us to know, not for us to understand. But you don't have to face it alone. Take my hand, I'm a parallel of you. I am.
This part of the song is layered with the girls' voices, each one having a revelation that they can and will overcome what they're going through. Disposable Girl, who we now know is named Jordan, realizes she doesn't have to be disposable or view herself as such. Irreverent Girl, Kyrie, realizes that her religious trauma can be broken free from. Fainéant Girl, Freya, realizes her disability doesn't have to have this much control over her life, and that viewing herself as a corpse isn't helping her. Splitter Girl, Tahira, realizes that trying to get better isn't fruitless, and that trying again will help her. As of right now, according to the Carrd, Tahira is 8 months clean. Caliber Girl, Nora, realizes she doesn't need to be perfect every time. Chocolate Box Girl, Morgan, realizes she is more than what her abuser wanted her to be. Taxidermy Girl, Myra, realizes that her womanhood can begin anew and that she can learn to forgive herself. Chemical Girl, Joy, realizes she has a place in the world and that she doesn't always have to be the angry one. And Refraction Girl, Natana, realizes that her metamorphosis doesn't mean it has to end, and that her life is just beginning. That is the meaning of this song. The singer says, "I am your parallel, and I have been through the same pain as you. As we are one and the same, I will help you get the same outcome I achieved. If I survived my pain, then I will help you survive through your pain too." Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, and with that, that's the end of the post-traumatic manifesto project. I forgot to say I probably said it somewhere, but this has been going on for like 2 years now, since 2022, and it just ended 3 months ago. So yeah. the project, not this video idea. But this has been a blast covering it, and I really hope this experience gets more people to check out the project itself and come to their own conclusions about what each song was about, as these are all my own opinions. I put links in the description to the account posts and the card site, as well as the other stuff I've talked about throughout the video. And I've been to the WeevilDoing Subreddit, and there are very creative and interesting fan-made characters made from the project that I also want you to check out. With that, thanks for watching, and you'll probably see me in, like, let's be real, 3 months.